In this video, we will address action plan. You have created your vision, you've set some SMART goals, and now we're moving on to getting things done. Here we will detail the steps that are needed to complete a goal or major task. We'll assure accountability by including who will be the responsible parties, determine committed due dates, add money and other required resources. This process is a way to also do some pre-problem solving and scope out more exact resources and needs. You will find that funding organizations require action plans or this level of specificity. As an example, if you were to create a follow-on project, as did this Zambian health activist, your goal would be to create 100 copies of a 40-page graphic novel to raise HIV prevention awareness. You might have an action plan like this that includes steps like research the graphic novel, develop the story, contract with an artist and with partners and funders, select a printer, book a printer, and then distribute the book. Each task includes who will lead the task, when it's due, what support is available, and what resources or money is needed in this table. For bigger projects, major tasks need to be broken out into their own action plans. This way you can, for example, develop the story is broken down from the previous action plan into subtasks, like brainstorming with a team on real transformative stories, develop the characters, enlist help from a university writing department, and then create an outline. Here's a few tips based on brain science to help you in your action planning. Number one, as human beings, we have the unique ability to think into the future, but we really aren't very good at estimating. Study after study shows that we typically very much underestimate the time needed to complete a task. So to overcome this limitation, you may need to even double the estimates that you put in your plan. Number two, again, we're faulty at envisioning the future. Look at any science fiction novels from 100 years ago to get a sense about how we're not so good about getting the future right. So, assume as you plan that you are going to need to revise your plan. And three, we get distracted. So creating a discipline as you're working on an action that you keep your larger problem, goal, and vision in mind. And checking, is this action actually aligned with my dream? And fourth, I want to end talking about action planning by returning to concepts we talked about in time management. And I want to call out a tip from the organizational expert David Allen. It's called The Power of the Next Action. He found that asking one question continually helps us to move from action planning to actually getting things done. He asks his clients simply, when working on a project, what's the next action? Sometimes I might tell you the next action in my action plan and feel completely overwhelmed and not know where to start. So Alan might ask me to break the next action into the next tiny thing I could do to move forward. So if I was using develop the story of the graphic novel, and that feels overwhelming, my next step might be to read a graphic novel. And if that feels overwhelming, I might just today buy a graphic novel. The power of the next action is to take something big, like if we had a huge melon, and it's to cut it into small pieces so that we can get it all eaten. We want to take one small step each day to get things done that are aligned with our vision. This is how we can assure that we get our important and not urgent tasks or projects completed. We will return with more project completion tips in our project management topic. The famous writer of the 19th century, George Eliot, was Mary Ann Evans. She had to write under a male pen name. She once said, "The blessed work of helping the world forward happily does not wait to be done by perfect men." Thankfully, we do not need to be perfect in our planning and implementation. But I hope that you keep forging ahead and leading positive change, and that these techniques support your efforts.